Last week, Melanie was visited by her ex-fiancé on the eve of his wedding to the other woman. Was he going to jilt his new love like he did to our columnist? Here's what happened next. The night passed in a sleepless blur. After sending my ex on his way, saying I needed to think, I tossed and turned until it was morning. If I had actually slept, I might have thought I dreamt the whole scenario, that the outcome of another woman's big day was now in my hands. It had taken me every ounce of self-control to ask him to leave in the early hours so that nothing happened between us. After all, despite what he was saying, he was still engaged and she was the innocent party. So, there was no way I was going to betray the girl code, even though the way he kissed me goodbye showed he certainly didn't give a damn about it. As I lay awake, my mind whirled with confusion. There was absolutely no doubt that the chemistry we'd shared was still there, and it was also true that I wanted him as much as I could see he wanted me. But there was also that voice in my head reminding me what he'd done to me by leaving me at the altar all those years ago. Now he was giving me the choice to take him back and start our lives together again, but in return I had to cause the same pain to another woman. As I'd closed the door, he'd told me the kids missed me. That was another kick in the teeth. When you are a step-parent, it doesn't matter how long you've been together or how close you are to the children you help care for, if it all goes pear-shaped, blood is all that really counts. So, as well as the loss of the future I'd expected, I experienced the sorrow of knowing it was too late to have my own children. Having invested so much time and love in his kids, who I'd now lost, I felt I'd never be able to date anyone with children again. At my age, 45, this means I now have a very limited selection to choose from. I looked at the clock. There was only an hour to go until they were due at the registry office. Almost on autopilot, I threw on some clothes, did my hair and makeup and jumped in a cab. 20 minutes later, I kept the meter running as I sat in the back seat and watched happy couples come and go from the town hall steps. I looked in my bag for my phone, but, in my rush to leave, I realized I'd left it at home. I wanted to call my best friend and tell her where I was. She's always the voice of reason. Damn, I said out loud, which caused the cabbie, a kindly-looking older gentleman, to ask if I was all right. Before I knew what I was doing, I'd poured the whole story out to him as he sat with his mouth open. I finished by telling him that, without my phone to call him, if I wanted to stop the wedding the only way was to make my way inside where I'd see them face to face. "Do you mind if I give you my honest opinion?" the driver asked in his rich Cockney tone, as he switched off the meter and turned to face me. I nodded. Excuse my French, but he sounds like an absolute asshole. Not only has he done that to you, but now he's willing to do it again to this other poor girl, and this time he wants to leave the responsibility for breaking her heart at your door. I know men like this, they never change. As he finished his speech, another taxi arrived and I saw my ex getting out of it. "Is that him?" he asked. I nodded. "Well, you don't have listened to me, you listen to your heart, girl. It's your life. You don't have to pay either. This journey is on me. Do you want to get out or?" Before he'd finished, I cut him off. "No, drive me home please." And at exactly the same time that the driver put his foot down, My ex spotted me in the cab and our eyes met briefly as I drove away. What would you have done? Have your say in the comments below. Read more of Melanie Blake's shocking confrontation with the man who broke her heart. Here's what you may have missed from the jaw-dropping four-parter that has notebook readers gripped. Part 1, he left me at the altar 5 years ago, and then this week got in touch. Part 2, my ex finally revealed why he jilted me on our wedding day. I wasn't expecting that. Part 3, my ex dropped whopping sex bombshell 5 years after leaving me at the altar. Part 4, 5 years after my ex left me at altar, I finally learned truth behind his vicious lie. More Melanie Blake. Extinction Rebellion and Insulate Britain. Crusties are selfish attention seekers. Dear Mel, am accidentally having full-blown affair with best friend's husband. Turns out my famous friend's marriage to sex best husband is money-making sham. Friend's famous husband shocked me with sexual messages. Do I fess up and tell her? I love a bad boy, but if he breaks your bed, he'll probably break your heart. That sex is not worth putting up with. You'll be stuck with it for the rest of your life. £25,000 shopping splurges made me feel like Julia Roberts, but now I've changed. I caught my builders slacking off to ogle the size 8 Estonian blonde neighbor. The bed I spent so many steamy nights in has gone. It's time to move on from lying ex to every married lech. You'll send your messages to your wives. You've been warned. William and Harry will have to mend their family bond naturally. You can't force it. I went to the University of Life, which is not an education that's accepted by troughs. One day we will look at Love Island and horror-like shows from the 70s. Famous showbiz client made sickening suicide note request. If I took my own life,